What are the top 5 reasons why South Africans are leaving in their droves? Stay tuned, let's find out. Good day, mates. How's it going, everybody? So today we are on a little walk and I've got a special treat for you guys today. So today we are going to be interviewing a South African that's moved here to Australia from the UK and South Africa previously. So say hello to Zach, also known as Big Well Zach. If you want to follow his page, he's also on YouTube. Check him out. So welcome back, guys. This is Zach that we're interviewing today from South Africa. So I'm going to ask him a little bit about himself first, and then we'll get into the 5 reasons why he left the UK to come to Australia. So Zach, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I'm a South African, as you know. Ended up in England. Beautiful place, by the way. England was milk and honey. It was a beautiful place to be in back then. I did think a lot of things did change since, but I ended up in Australia because I wanted to see the world at the end of the day.
Right, so Zach, can you tell me why, after leaving South Africa and then going to the UK, why you chose UK to Australia is basically what I'm trying to say to you.
Yes, well, the thing is, it's a beautiful country. I mean, people are more relaxed, especially WA, which stands for wait a while. It's exactly that. For instance, if you want to get your car service, it's going to take a month before your service can get booked in any case. You know that yourself. It is mad, but it's more relaxing environment. People are friendly. People do know you. They look at you and they smile, they wave, they do all those beautiful things which England used to be. If you remember back then when you were young, people were friendly back then. Even when I arrived in England back then in 2001, 2000, around about that time, it was beautiful. I loved it.
Right, so you moved from the UK to Australia for a slower pace of life, is what I understand from that. So what was the pace of life like in South Africa compared to the UK, I guess?
Yeah, the thing is, the only problem is I can compare to when before I left, and it was a different time back then. If you look at it now, I speak to family, and it's a different lifestyle. I mean, now you have to be barbed wire around your house and that kind of stuff. So you have to be careful where you go. You can't just go out like over here in WA. You can go and walk next to a river. I mean, there was a lady walking alone earlier down the river. You saw them. Yeah. And it's perfectly safe. There's no issues whatsoever. Well, in South Africa, it's a different story. I mean, you can't even go out at night to the city to enjoy the nightlife. You have to be careful with that. I mean, yeah, it's not pretty much a life. I mean, especially when you got kids. I mean, you know yourself, a father of 2, having your kids outside in this lovely nature, it's relaxing. It's tranquility.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying now. Even how I feel coming just from the UK to Australia, it kind of felt like that in certain areas of the UK. Certain times of night you would not want to go out. Like, don't get me wrong, I think probably South Africa's probably another level, but there's definitely places in the UK where I wouldn't trust my partner or my kids roaming around on their own. So yeah, I can understand that. So you're a South African. Yes, you are a South African.
I hope so.
So yeah, you're a South African here in Australia, and you're driving trucks for a living. Hopefully, it's something that I plan on doing in the near future. But what I want to know is, if you was to be a truck driver in South Africa, what kind of like economic opportunities could you expect, and what would it be like there?
That's a hard one. The reason why I'm saying it is you can just go online these days and go and check a YouTube video and see what's really happening there in South Africa. I mean, yeah, that people been held by gunpoint and so forth and getting shot at. Nah, it's not a good place.
Yeah, I've seen a few of the videos myself actually on X, and yeah, it's not pleasant. No. But what about in terms of salary? Do you have any idea what a truck driver would get in South Africa compared to Australia?
Now, the thing is with truck driving, I mean, like anywhere, even in UK, you get different levels of salaries depending on what you do. Now, how more dangerous you go, obviously, like cash in transit. Oh, that is good money, apparently.
I imagine it would be.
Jeez, I don't want to be in that little area. Even fuel. I mean, fuel transport in South Africa is a big thing as well, because fuel theft is massive. I mean, they do park up next to the road. They offload fuel in canisters and chuck it into the bushes. They drive off, and the next thing, a van pulls up and take the fuel.
That's even happening now in the UK as well. It's something
It's
similar.
mad, isn't it? It's mad.
It's kind of the comparisons that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of sounds like we're saying that Australia's perfect and the UK and South Africa. And I'm not saying that.
No.
Every country has its problems. There's parts of Australia which are like...
That's just noisy. Sorry. Tell the birds to...
the old kookaburras trying to get involved in the conversation.
Gee whiz. Okay, I'll carry on.
Getting me distracted now. In fact, when I moved here, my missus was walking to school and she actually thought that there were monkeys in the tree, in the kookaburras. But anyway, that's another story. Right. So one of the questions that I wanted to ask you was about, in terms of climate, South Africa and Australia are not too dissimilar, both in the southern hemisphere.
Oh yeah.
In terms of farming, would it be something that's quite similar? I know you're not a farmer, but I know you've come from the background of like your dad, or
Yes. I got family in farming. Yeah, my dad was a farmer. He used to farm in Ceres. Now Ceres is more like a citrus kind of oranges and that kind of stuff. Environment. So,
okay.
yeah.
So would you say that it's a similar kind of environment for farmers here to Australia, or is it a lot different?
Life is different. I will say as a farmer, you're more hands-on over here. In South Africa, you got farm workers. So you get about 8-10 of them working the farm itself. Over here, it's like almost just you and maybe the farm manager or something. So, and you get your seasonal workers as well. But over in South Africa, it's different. I mean, you do have your kind of your dedicated farm workers.
Because here in Australia, they have a lot of seasonal workers. We get the French backpackers and, well, all nations really, but the French seem to be the ones that really come in numbers and really seem to love it here. So one question that I did want to ask you as well is, how do you find the culture difference between South Africa and Australia? Because from what I know of you and what I now know of Australians, I find there's quite a lot of similarities between you guys in terms of you both love a barbecue.
Man, a piece of meat.
As you would say, a braai.
A braai, that's it.
No Hunter's braai. He's always saying it in his video. But yeah, how would you describe the culture difference? Is there a big one, or...?
You know what? Not much. Not much at all. I mean, look at this weather. If you look at this weather at the back here, this is the kind of weather we've got in South Africa in any case. I mean, this environment, I mean, it's just such a relaxed environment. We do barbecues, which we call braais. We go to the beaches, same kind of thing. No, it's a lovely place. It's pretty much the same. I mean, even if you go to Perth, loads of South Africans.
And if you really want to see what he means about the beach life, we actually did a video, me and Zach, where we went to the beach and had a braai on the beach whilst doing a bit of fishing. So yeah, check it out in this one here. Right, so the last one is going to be a very controversial one, but we've got to touch on this subject because it's something that's been going on in the mainstream media right now. As we know, with the South African president meeting Donald Trump recently and him bringing up what's going on in the country. Now, I want to try and keep this as respectful as possible, guys. Just try and be mindful in the comments that, yeah, okay, it's okay to have your opinions, but let's not do any of the racist stuff because it can lead to bad places. It's just, yeah, let's just try and keep it respectful if we can, okay? So there's a party in South Africa at the moment that are they're stirring up a lot of shit at the moment, and it was played out on national television, and the response hasn't really been hit on much in the mainstream media. It's sort of been swept under the rug from as far as I can see anyway. So Do you think this party actually means what they're saying just to scare people off out of the country, or do you think it's something that they would act on if they got into power?
Yeah, it's a hard one. You're right what you just said. It's a very sensitive subject, but yes, it is. I mean, at the moment they're doing a land reform. They take land basically, and the thing is, there's nothing what you can do about it. He publicly announced that kill the farmer, kill the boer. And the thing is, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, so far the president didn't do much about it. He's just entertaining it at the moment and give it coverage. Now, that's wrong. But yeah, the thing is, it's a very sensitive subject, as you know.
Yeah, I know. When I was speaking to Zach before we was doing this interview, he's left South Africa a long time ago. So, but he's still got family there. So obviously he still has a bit of care to what actually happens in South Africa, because it could be his family that could be put in danger if the wrong people did get into power. Now, thankfully, it doesn't look likely that those people will ever get into power, like, fingers crossed. And I know in the comments people are going to get a bit heated about this, and I understand that because it is such a controversial topic.
Big time.
But I don't know. It kind of seems to me the two wrongs make a right. That's kind of my take on it. What our ancestors did back in the day to people in those countries was obviously wrong, and you know, there's definitely ways to go about it that are better than just, you know, an eye for an eye, because in my experience it just keeps the cycle going. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's terrible. It's really bad. The thing is, that's my country. That's where I came from. That was my blood. That's what I was born in. But the thing is, it was hard to leave the country. That was one of the biggest reasons in any case why I left. And it was hard, especially going to a country like UK. You didn't know what to expect. You went into the unknown. You don't know what is going on. You don't know the new laws, the new governments. So you just need to adapt. And after 20 years later, I was still there. I mean, I was making a life. I had 2 kids. I got a wife. Everything's running smoothly at the moment. And then we decided to come to Australia.
Fingers crossed it carries on that way. So one of the biggest reasons why anybody moves anywhere these days is obviously economics. And here in Australia, it's not perfect. It isn't perfect anywhere, but compared to the rest of the world, it's doing pretty all right. And I mean, South Africa, for example, has not been doing the greatest in terms of economics in the past 5 to 10 years, let's say. Don't hold me to that. I mean, like, I know it's not been doing well, but I couldn't tell you the exact stats, but I know it's not perfect. But that's the same for England. It's not all sunshine and rainbows in England either at the moment. The economic prosperity in England has just gone down and down year after year, and there's many reasons, many factors for that. And I'll let you guys in the comments discuss that, because, you know, it can all get a bit too political and a little bit too much for my liking. But yeah, South Africa, the economics going down can be a big factor of why a lot of South Africans have moved here. Right, so thanks for watching, guys. That was Zach from South Africa. Moved here a year and a half ago. Been loving life down under. So yeah, if you've got any questions, then don't forget to fire away in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you as quick as I can. And I'm sure Zach will help out and answer a few comments himself in there. And if you want to follow him, just go over to his YouTube page, Big Will Zach. And yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. If you can, give it a little like. Helps push the video out to a few more people. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. See you later. So bye.
Cheers.